You're listening to the Real Elevation podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hendricks, and here we discuss topics on personal fitness, well-being, and elevation of mind and body. Join us as we help build and grow a community of real, elevated men and women. If you're currently feeling frustrated, flat, and fed up with life, or want to be a physically and mentally elevated individual, you're invited to join us each and every week here on the Real Elevation podcast. Welcome to the RE family and get ready to elevate your mind and body. Hi there and welcome back to the Real Elevation podcast. I'm your host Mike Hendricks, and today we have another outstanding, informative and elevating show for you. I'd like to welcome all first-time listeners to the podcast. And be sure to stay to the end, where I'll be sharing all my social media links where you can connect with me and the Real Elevation community as we continue to grow the Real Elevation podcast. Hope you're well, thank you, and God bless you for joining me here once again. We have another brilliant show, one that I'm going to help make sure you soar, as in SOAR. So, let's be honest now. When it comes to talking about stress, for so many people it has become the norm. We like to wear it almost like a badge of honor, thinking that being constantly busy, being overwhelmed, being in that always on mode is just part of modern day life. That's something that you may be able to relate to. I know for a lot of people that I speak with on a regular basis, that seems to be the case. But the reality is that chronic stress isn't just exhausting. It can, and for many of us, is actually rapidly aging us, draining our energy and keeping us stuck in this constant survival mode. And that may be something that, again, you can relate to. You're constantly replying to emails, work meetings, kids to sort out, maybe aging parents to look after, maybe have financial concerns, paying too much attention to current world affairs. These can all be causes that keep us stressed. However, the good news is that you can turn things around. You can slow that aging process down that stressing us out brings. But you have to do that with some intentional shifts, both in your physical and mental outlook. So let's look at exploring 4 powerful and practical steps to claim your nervous system back, lift your energy, and slow the hands of time. So today's episode is talking about subdue stress and see your energy soar. 4 steps to boost energy and slow energy aging. That's subdue stress and see your energy soar. 4 steps to boost energy and slow aging. Let's dive into the first one. And as always, remember to take notes, get your pen and pad ready to write these things down so you can revisit them and remind yourself exactly of these practical and powerful 4 steps. So step number 1, reset your nervous system with breathwork and stillness. Now, I don't know if you I've heard this story that I shared with you before, but it was a time that I witnessed someone having a panic attack. It wasn't a good look at all. This gentleman, for some reason, wasn't able to regulate or control his thoughts and emotions, and this led him to having a panic attack in the supermarket. So he was breathing quite heavily, short, shallow breaths. He was obviously getting very sweaty. He was chatting, lots of nonsense basically, but worrying and overthinking things. And this is what happens when your sympathetic nervous system is activated and you get into this almost like fight or flight response, and your body becomes flooded with different kind of chemicals. They include things like cortisol and adrenaline, which, if you can imagine that over a long period of time, which for many of us are in this anxious state, this stress state, this almost panic state, can accelerate aging, suppress our immune system, and obviously sap ourselves of energy. So we need to be aware of how our thoughts, our actual physical action, our behaviors all interlink, that they can have an effect on how we are stressed, so we can reset our nervous system by just doing some simple breathwork practices and mindfulness practices that helps still and calm the mind. So what I'm going to suggest that you do in terms of action steps, if that's something that you can relate to, think about each morning, or you can do this on the evening as well, spending 5-10 minutes in stillness, not doing anything. Try something like box breathing. You can just type that into any search engine and you can find out different techniques. You look on Google or YouTube, you'll see some techniques, some very good videos. People show you how to box breathe. But it's a technique of where we're inhaling for 4, holding for 4 seconds, exhaling for 4, and then holding again for 4. And it's just an opportunity to just be very present in our bodies with our eyes closed and feel your breath moving through you. So it's a stillness practice that can really help to manage our stress levels. And there's been many different researches done on the benefits of just doing some simple breath work in terms of it helps to control our cortisol level, it enhances oxygen delivery to our brain, improves our heart rate, and it also is a key marker for longevity and also physical and mental resilience. So if you practice breathwork, breathing, being still, just 5 minutes on the morning or 5-10 minutes on an evening, you will do your best to subdue your stress and see your energy soar. Number 2, move daily to release mental and physical tension. Now, I'm sure you'll agree, for a lot of people, their ability to move their body has a profound effect on their physical and mental well-being. I'm sure you'll agree, if you ever found yourself in a situation feeling a bit stressed or down, just doing something simple like going out for a walk can have a great effect on boosting your mood. And this is something simple that you can do if you're not doing that currently at the moment. Stress builds up not only physically but mentally as well. So we've been in a situation where we're feeling tight around the shoulders. We may have these clenched jaws. Again, we talk about shallow breathing. Short, shallow breathing is not often a sign of having physical and mental tension. But by involving and engaging in regular movement, can all acts almost like a release valve to take that tension out of the body. So again, something simple you can do in terms of an action step, 20 to 30 minutes of daily movement. You've heard me say it many times before. Your fitness without the right consistency and frequency is flawed and foolish. So if you're not doing a good blend of exercise, which encompasses being consistent, doing strength work, doing mobility work, doing stability work, doing cardiovascular work, it's all in vain, it's all flawed, and it's all for the wrong reasons. But you can do this, I am sure, 20 to 30 minutes you can find. If you're not doing that currently, get out by doing some simple activities that's going to help boost your energy levels. So walking, going out, doing a bike ride, doing some simple stretches in the morning, some kettlebell exercises, some bodyweight exercises. You don't need any equipment at all. Some mobility work, things like Pilates, Tai Chi, things that you don't need any equipment at all. These are all ways that you can get into a practice of daily movement, and your body and your mind will thank you for it. You don't need a gym. Keep me saying this before. You just need to have that mindset that I'm going to start to reduce the stress in my body, any tension in my body, have that mental release, and start being active. We know all the benefits. We know about the endorphins, which is the feel-good hormone that we release. We know it reduces that stress hormone, cortisol. It improves mitochondrial function in the body. It helps you produce energy much more efficiently. There are a plethora and a list as long as your arm in terms of benefits. So you need to, if you're not doing it already, get into that mental space, that mindset, that moving your body is going to help to reduce stress. So if you're not doing it, maybe it's time to consider that. Okay, step number 3, eat to reduce inflammation and fuel energy. Now, for many of us, our eating habit or our practice when it comes to our diet isn't one that helps to give us sustained, long, all day energy. When we're eating in a way that's poor choices, foods that inflame the body, foods that slow the body down, even though they might be giving the body calories, it can accelerate aging and can lead to stress. And stress over time can lead to inflammation, and inflammation over time leads to accelerated aging. So what you eat either feeds the fire or helps extinguish it. So are you fueling your body to keep that fire burning? And when I say keep that fire burning, keep the energy levels high the way you want to so you can produce and perform throughout your busy working day? Or is it extinguishing the fire, helping you only to fight each day and get your energy levels propped up by caffeine and stimulants, energy drinks, coffee, that sort of thing? So if you can start making more smart decisions, more conscious decisions to cut back on ultra-processed foods, sugary foods, and focus on those whole foods with a range of different colours. You've heard me say before, one thing that you can do is start eating the rainbow. Green fruits, red fruits, orange fruits, purple fruits. There are many, many different colours of fruit and vegetables that you can begin to introduce into your diet if you're not doing that at this moment in time. Lean proteins, omega-3 fats, seafoods, nuts. The range goes on whole foods, so foods with minimum adjustment. Basically, foods that were produced the way nature intended them to be. And obviously, clean water, as clean as water, a source of water that you can get your hands on. You consistently focus on having those type of foods as often as possible in your diet, your body will thank you. You'll reduce any sort of inflammation. You'll feel fueled, full of energy that's going to help you to concentrate, perform, and produce at your best. And you will decelerate that aging process down that excess stress can bring on. And it's been shown by many different studies, many different research papers that have been published about how when we are regularly eating whole natural foods, our body's inflammatory ability reduces and we are much more able to do the things that we want to do without the aches in the joints, without the feeling tired, without the spikes in cortisol levels. We can regulate our insulin much more effectively. We reduce our risk of developing certain types of diseases like dementia or heart disease. These are all things that research has shown. If we're eating in a way that supports us, we're eating whole natural foods, we're going to reduce our risk of exposing ourselves to these conditions. So making sure that we eat to reduce inflammation and we're fueling for energy. Okay, moving on to step number 4. Just a quick recap. We are talking about today, subdue stress and see your energy soar. 4 steps to boost energy and slow aging. We spoke about in number 1, reset your nervous system, doing things such as mindful, stillness and breathwork practices. Number 2, move daily to release mental and physical tension. And we just spoke about eat to reduce inflammation and fuel your energy. And number 4, very important, especially in a world where we have to navigate stress, worry, anxiety, is making sure we honor your rest and recovery. Now, this is something that we talk about quite extensively in the Core Build Accelerator System program when we're talking about making sure that you prioritize rest and recovery. Most people don't have an energy problem per se. They have a recovery problem. So they're doing lots of things, but they're not being very deliberate when it comes to having that time out, resetting, resting, recovering, and rejuvenating. So moving forward, if you're finding that you're struggling to maintain your productivity levels the way you want, ask yourself the question, am I being on purpose when it comes to taking time out and being rested, recovering, rejuvenating, giving myself a little bit of space to just time out, just chill. I recently had some time out away from my main work where I wasn't going in serving the clients, getting other jobs done, but wasn't in the thick of working the way I normally did, and it was absolutely amazing. Just having those few days off, give myself some mental and physical space, just have some downtime. Some days I didn't really do a huge amount. Just went out, walked the dog, read a few books, watched a bit of TV. It was great. So when I went back to work, when I went back in that work environment, I felt recharged and ready to rock. So ask yourself the question, are you being deliberate when it comes to your resting and rejuvenation and recharging practices? If you're not, here's some action steps that you can look to apply. Have you got a current wind down routine? So a ritual that's going to help to recharge and regenerate before your head hits a pillow on a night time. So doing things like no screens, it's very difficult for us, for many of us, I appreciate that, but no screens an hour before going to bed. Making sure that you are maybe listening to some relaxing or calming music just to signal to the central nervous system that I'm starting to wind down now. Are you having things like magnesium-rich foods? Things like almonds or leafy greens in your dinner. Again, these are all vitamins and minerals that can help us relax the body and regenerate, replenish. And are we getting a good quality 7 to 9 hours of sleep in a cool, dark room, free from the buzz of the world, free from buzz of technology, or watches, our phones, our tablets, our devices? Are you doing simple things like that? That's going to help you get a sound night's sleep and help you absolutely switch off so your mind is not elsewhere. You're just focusing on getting a good night's sleep. These are some simple practices that you can begin to do if you're not doing already. And as I said before, I hope you're taking notes so you can come back and re-listen to this and actually apply. So honoring your rest, making sure that you're getting good time to recover, rest and rejuvenate. So the next day you're feeling on it, you're feeling focused, you can go again. So let's have a quick recap on what we were talking about here. Subdue stress. So here's energy and anti-aging cheat code that you can apply if you're not doing so already. So reset your nervous system daily with breathwork and stillness practices. That was number 1. Number 2, we said move to release tension, both mentally and physically. Your body will thank you for this. You feel much more alive, you feel much more vitalized. So make sure you're moving to release tension. Eat to reduce inflammation in the body. Nourish your body. Give it the nutrients and the vitamins and minerals that it needs to serve you so you can do the things that you want to do with purpose and high level of productivity. And prioritize your sleep and your rest. Getting in a mindset where you understand that rest and time out is just as important as the exercise or the activities that you're doing. So you rejuvenate and reinvigorate that youthful spark when you are being on purpose when it comes to your rest. So each of these steps may sound simple, but I promise you when practiced consistently, then transform how you look and feel. Promise you. For a lot of people, when they come to work with me, it's not a question of me telling them to do more. It's telling them to do less. Yeah, often is the case. Now, can we think about stop doing this? Can we think about reducing this? And by just giving them that space, helps to reduce stress in life. And by reducing stress, it slows down the aging process, helps them feel more in control. Just by giving them the space. It's not me coming along saying you do start doing this. For many people, it's saying, can we think about stop doing this or reducing doing that? Giving them the space to do that. Now, if today's episode really resonated with you I'd just like to take a step to implement just one of these over the next 3 days. So whether it's coming to reset your nervous system daily with some breathwork practices, or thinking about making some better choices when it comes to eating foods to reduce inflammation, or prioritizing your sleep, choose one of those four and just keep it super simple, but try be consistent with it over the next 3 days and just see what happens. Reach out to me, let me know exactly how your body responded to that action step that you have taken. And if you are in a position where you feel ready to reclaim your energy, reduce pain, and look and feel younger without punishing yourself with long, boring workouts or extreme diets, it may be time to consider joining the Real Rejuvenation Program designed specifically for people over 40 who want to feel alive again. So if that's something that you want to get involved in, there'll be a link in the show notes where you can fill out the application form. We'll arrange a time to speak about you and how we can get you on that road to rejuvenation. All right, guys, I trust you found today's episode insightful and uplifting. Remember to connect with us. I'll leave all the social media links in the show notes where you can reach out with us and connect with us as we continue to grow the Real Elevation podcast community. So until next time, remember, be well, be wise, be cool, be calm, keep it real, blessings in chi, and peace.